Ah, Will Smith! The man who went from being the coolest guy on the block to slapping comedians at the Oscars like it's just another Tuesday. We've seen him win awards, throw extravagant parties, and pretend his life is a perfectly curated Instagram feed. But behind that smile is a bizarre mix of drama, chaos, and cringeworthy moments. From entanglements to ego trips and straight-up tax evasion, Will's life could fill an entire season of Keeping Up with the Smiths, but with a lot more slaps. Grab your popcorn because we're about to dive into everything wrong with Will Smith. Sorry to interrupt, but if you don't slap that subscribe button, Will Smith will slap the subscribe button for you. The Fresh Prince Hustle! The days before Will Smith was slapping people at the Oscars and making viral Instagram videos, when he was just another rapper trying to make it big. In the late 80s, Will was known as the Fresh Prince, and teamed up with DJ Jazzy Jeff to create the world's most revolutionary song about parents being totally out of touch. Who doesn't love a good track about rebellion, right? Parents Just Don't Understand was a hit, but it wasn't exactly a musical masterpiece. Sure, it catapulted him into his fame, but let's not pretend it was all Grammy gold. Will's big break came not from his rapping skills, which, let's be honest, were decent at best, but from the magic of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The Oscars slap. Now, let's talk about the slap of the century, shall we? Will Smith, fresh off winning Best Actor, decided that instead of giving a heartfelt speech, he'd give a hands-on demonstration of defending his wife's honor. When Chris Rock made a lighthearted joke about Jada's alopecia, Will, calm, collected, and definitely not overreacting, marched up to the stage and slapped the comedian. Nothing says, "I'm proud of my Oscar win," like an assault on live television, right? And of course, after the slap, Will's emotional apology speech at the ceremony was truly a masterclass in handling awkward situations with poise and grace. Just kidding. 10-year Oscars ban. After that slap heard around the world, the Academy didn't just sit idly by and let Will Smith waltz away like it was a scene from Bad Boys. Nope. In 2022, they slapped him with a decade-long ban from all Academy events.
Today, the big news, Will Smith's Academy fate is sealed.
That's right. Will Smith can no longer show up to the Oscars, the Governor's Ball, or even those little after-parties where they pretend they care about your speech. A solid 10 years of being told, yeah, we're going to go ahead and not invite you to any more events. Of course, being banned from the Oscars doesn't stop him from posting inspirational quotes on Instagram or finding new ways to make headlines, but at least he won't be winning any more awards in person for a while. This time, he's truly #not invited. Fresh Prince reunion drama. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion. Who doesn't love a good nostalgia trip? Well, except for Janet Hubert, the original Aunt Viv, who apparently wasn't too thrilled about being left out of the reunion for years. In 2020, during the much-hyped reunion special, Janet went full throttle on Will Smith, calling him out for mistreating her and ruining her career back in the 90s. You know, just casual family drama aired out for millions of people to enjoy. She claimed that Will played a part in her firing from the show, leading to years of career struggles. Meanwhile, Will's sitting there trying to look as humble as possible. But honestly, you can't avoid a slap from the past just by wearing a clean suit. Oops. Cue the awkward silence and uncomfortable tension. Nothing says we're all family like throwing some shade during a reunion. Slapping a reporter. Our old slapper Will Smith just casually slapping a reporter. No big deal, right? It's the kind of behavior you expect from a guy who's used to slapping in the most literal sense. In 2012, Will had a minor altercation with a Ukrainian reporter who tried to plant a kiss on him during a red carpet event. Instead of, politely declining or stepping away like most normal humans, Will slapped the guy. Of course, Will later apologized, calling the whole incident an overreaction.
I apologize to you. My behavior.
Yeah, because slapping someone who's just trying to show affection is a natural reaction for someone who's all about peace, love, and happiness. A little personal space, anyone? his 4th of July birthday party. Well, Will Smith, what better way to celebrate your 4th of July birthday than by throwing the most extravagant party that no one can ever forget? In 2019, Will pulled out all the stops with a live Jay-Z concert. Yes, you heard that right. Will's birthday party featured a performance by Jay-Z, and it was as extra as you can imagine. People didn't know if they were attending a birthday bash or an exclusive VIP festival. It wasn't just a gathering, it was a celebration of Will Smith's will to make sure everyone knew he was the star of the show. Because what says, "I'm the ultimate showman," like a lavish birthday party with a billionaire rapper, right? Just make sure you don't slip into self-indulgent territory. Oh wait, that's exactly where he went. But who's counting? The Hollywood star ego. You know what they say about Hollywood. It's not about who you are, it's about how big your ego is. And in Will Smith's case, that ego might just be the size of the Hollywood sign itself. Over the years, Will has been criticized for being the quintessential Hollywood star, pushing his own brand and narrative into every possible project, even at the expense of creativity. Whether it's his social media presence, his constant motivational speaking, or his mildly exaggerated self-promotion, Will is pretty much the human embodiment of, "Look at me, I'm famous." From constant mentions of his legendary achievements to that ever-present air of perfection, it's like Will's ego needs its own dressing room. Sure, he's incredibly talented, but sometimes it seems like he's more into promoting Will Smith the brand than Will Smith the actor. Can someone remind him that subtlety is a thing? Scientology rumors. Back in the 2000s, rumors swirled that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith were deeply involved with Scientology, despite their repeated denials. Sure, they claimed they weren't part of the Church of Scientology, but that didn't stop the whispers. Will was spotted with some known Scientology figures, and hey, his son Jaden was even enrolled in a Scientology-affiliated school. Could it be that Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, was secretly joining the ranks of Tom Cruise and other stars pushing the interesting philosophies of Scientology? Who knows? What we do know is that they couldn't quite shake off those pesky rumors. Because, let's face it, no one really leaves a cult, or its rumors, after Earth flop. In 2013, Will Smith starred in the sci-fi disaster After Earth alongside his son, Jaden. The movie was supposed to be an epic father-son collaboration, but instead, it turned into a perfect storm of awful reviews and box office failure. After Earth became a textbook example of a vanity project gone wrong. Will, the self-proclaimed master of sci-fi, got the chance to cast his son as the lead while pushing out a story so convoluted that even aliens would be scratching their heads. Critics panned the film for its lackluster performances and nonsensical plot. Needless to say, the movie cratered at the box office. But hey, at least the Smiths got to keep it in the family, right? And that's a win. Kinda. Instagram oversharing. Will Smith is on Instagram, and let's just say his 2018 content might make you question your own social media strategy. From dancing in a onesie to pulling off cringeworthy stunts in front of his millions of followers, Will has found ways to turn his Instagram into the "look at me" show. It's almost like he's trying a little too hard to stay relevant. Sure, the goofy viral videos may have entertained some, but for others, it felt like a dad trying a bit too hard to relate to the younger crowd. Remember the whole big kid persona? Well, it's not always charming when you post videos that make people go, "Is this the same guy who slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars?"
Oh, wow! Wow!
Will's feed quickly went from fun-loving dad to full-on awkward influencer. #sorry. Tax evasion fine. Let's throw it back to the 90s, when Will Smith was the king of sitcoms and Men in Black, but was apparently not so hot at managing his finances. During his rise to fame, the IRS came knocking after Will failed to pay a whopping $2.8 million in taxes. Yes, you heard that right. The IRS swooped in and seized Will's assets because nothing says, "I'm on top of the world," like having the taxmen take your stuff. Fortunately for Will, he eventually paid up and got back on track. But let's just say his early career was almost derailed by a slightly less glamorous issue than acting in blockbusters. Who knew that in a world of Fresh Princes, someone could forget the Tax King part? Jada's entanglement with August Alsina. During an episode of Red Table Talk, Jada casually admitted to having an affair with singer August Alsina while still married to Will.
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
Oh, and just for extra spice, Will was sitting right there next to her, looking like he was part of the world's most uncomfortable therapy session. Nothing says we're in this together like your wife revealing her affair to millions while you sit awkwardly, trying to hold back your emotions. Of course, the internet exploded, speculating about Will's humiliation, while the couple, ever the professionals, tried to spin this all into a growing experience. Because, you know, the best way to deal with public infidelity is to sit in front of a camera and talk about it. Men in Black 2 paycheck drama. In 2002, Will Smith was back in black, ready to save the world again in Men in Black Part 2. But this time, things weren't all about the aliens. Oh no, Will had a little extra swagger going on. Word on the street was that he demanded a massive paycheck and a slew of extravagant perks, reportedly putting a strain on the production budget. Because what says I'm the star of this blockbuster franchise, like inflating the movie's budget with your paycheck demands? It's almost as if Will forgot that this was a Men in Black sequel and not the Will Smith Show. This move allegedly caused some behind-the-scenes drama, leading to production tensions. But hey, who can blame him? It's hard to keep your Hollywood star ego in check when your name is basically synonymous with box office success. Fatherhood perfectionism. We get it, Will, you're a great dad. But sometimes it feels like you're trying way too hard to convince us. Whether it's posting inspirational parenting quotes, sharing perfect family moments on social media, or dropping hashtag dad goals in interviews, Will often gives off that look how awesome I am at fatherhood vibe. Now, don't get me wrong, his kids are successful and it's clear he loves his family. But this perfect dad persona can sometimes feel like it's been marketed as part of his brand. Like, if there's a competition for best dad ever, Will's probably giving everyone a run for their money, but the whole I'm the best father shtick can sometimes ring hollow. Let's not forget, being a great parent doesn't mean we need daily reminders in the form of viral videos and Instagram posts. Public feuds with ex-wife Sherry Zampino. Will Smith and his ex-wife Sherry Zampino have managed to stay on relatively good terms post-divorce. But, you know, relatively good terms doesn't mean drama-free. Over the years, the occasional public feud and awkward moment has surfaced, usually around interviews or social media posts. Will and Sherry had one of the most famous divorces of the 90s, and while they've made peace, you can tell there are still some unresolved tensions. From the weird vibe during public appearances to Sherry's occasional digs in interviews, it's clear that no matter how much Will tries to paint it as a friendly situation, there's still some drama lingering in the air. A little extra bitterness makes for great reality TV. Oh wait, wrong family. His book, Will Smith's memoir, Will, was marketed as a deep dive into his life, except when you actually read it, it feels more like an extended exercise in self-aggrandizing. Sure, people praise the book's motivational undertones and human will behind the Hollywood superstar persona. But let's be honest, there were some glaring omissions. Key moments, like his infamous divorce from Sherry Zampino, were glossed over or treated as mere bumps in the road. Oh, and let's not forget the weirdly calculated feel of some of the book's more inspirational sections, as if it were written for a self-help audience more than a memoir audience. Fans couldn't help but feel like they'd just been sold Will Smith's version of an autobiography with a dash of his brand's signature glow-up. Like, who knew writing a memoir could be so carefully curated? And there you have it, folks. Will Smith, the man who slaps, dances, and throws massive parties while trying to convince the world he's the perfect dad. what do you think about Will Smith? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.